Vikings versus Lions preview. If the Vikings are going to get their second straight win after beating Green Bay last week, we're going to talk about the matchups to make that happen. And I want to start with the Lions defense first, because last year in 2019, their defensive line was arguably the worst in football. Their D-line was super soft. That was in 2019. Compare that to now. I mean, even with Trey Flowers on IR, Romeo Okwara is an absolute beast. Deshaun Hand, he's a stud. Everson Griffin, he's eligible to play for the first time with Detroit against the Vikings, coincidentally, so they're adding him to the mix. Their defensive line is a lot more legit this time around. The second level, Jamie Collins, he's playing at a high level like he has been his entire career. However, mouse in the house attack. Jelani Tavai is god-awful. I mean, I don't care. When he tries to break off of blocks, he can't do it worth a damn. He has no strength. His footwork is absolutely terrible. And he puts himself out of position nonstop left and right. I would say on defense, that's who you need to go after. Let's say you have a play call designed for run plays for Dalvin Cook. Let's say if he has to run right on that play and Tavai is on the left pre-snap, hey, audible, switch to the left side. If it's a passing down, throw to whoever it is that Tavai is guarding. It's almost like Run DMC, Aerosmith, run his way, throw his way, mouse in the house attack on Jelani Tavai. You go to the secondary, Jeff Okudah versus Justin Jefferson. I think that's going to be a fun matchup, 2 first-round picks. I would expect Jefferson to win that battle. But I tell you what, a cornerback who I really, really like, and I am definitely going to butcher this dude's name. Detroit Lions fans, go ahead and check me on this. Amani Aruwarie, number 24. I love his hustle. I love his fight, especially on run plays. He's not afraid to tackle. He absolutely shoots the gap. This man, he has great closing speed. I would be interested to see whatever matchup there is. Let's say it's Okudah versus Jefferson and Aruwarie versus Thielen. It's going to be, I would still expect our wide receivers to win those battles, but hey, it's going to be a lot different this time around compared to last year because of their beefed up defensive line for the Detroit Lions. Either way, I would expect Mike Zimmer and the Minnesota Vikings to continue where they left off last week as far as the game plan against Green Bay. Just a heavy dose of Dalvin Cook, and until they can stop it, you just keep hammering the ball with number 33. I want to now go to their offense and start with Matthew Stafford because, I mean, first of all, there's a chance the dude may not even play due to COVID-19 precautions, but until he's officially ruled out, I'm going to expect for him to play on Sunday. But much like the defensive line turnaround for the Detroit Lions this year compared to last year, I really thought last year before the injuries, Matthew Stafford, he really put the gunslinger mentality behind him. He did a really good job of taking care of the football, was super efficient. Before the injuries, last year, Matthew Stafford, he was on his way to having his career best season, bar none. This time around, he's gone back to his old ways. He will absolutely chuck that football up for grabs. So if you can get pressure on Matthew Stafford, and I know it's a cliche statement, but if you can get pressure on Matthew Stafford, maybe even bat a couple of balls down at the line of scrimmage, along with those balls that he's going to throw, especially in tight windows, you can make it a long game, a long day for Matthew Stafford, advantage Vikings defense. Now, if Stafford does not play, if he is officially ruled out, then that's even more of an advantage for the Vikings. As far as their receivers are concerned, Kenny Galladay, not looking like he'll play on Sunday because he's dealing with a hip injury. Did not participate in practice last time I checked the injury report. That's going to be a huge blow, assuming that he doesn't play this upcoming Sunday. But that doesn't mean if you're the Vikings, oh, we got this game in the bag, let's go ahead and breathe a sigh of relief, because their tight ends are legit. Jesse James, TJ Hawkinson, those are some big-time playmakers, especially 5 yards within the end zone. So the red zone, obviously, that's a big target for tight ends. You can say that for any team in the league. But 5 yards towards the end zone, that's where TJ Hawkinson, regardless, that's the hot read right there. Because either the Lions, they tend to either, at that point, 5 yards and in, they tend to either hand the ball off to their running back, most notably DeAndre Swift, I'll get to him in a hot second, or play action or not, they're throwing it to TJ Hawkinson. So you have to look after that. And then going back to their running game, they've got a mix of DeAndre Swift, who I swear, I would have bet everything that the Kansas City Chiefs, they would have selected DeAndre Swift at the end of the first round last year. But reportedly, Patrick Mahomes, he hand-selected Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So it's the Chiefs. They can do whatever they want. I thought DeAndre Swift would have been perfect for the Chiefs. Nonetheless, he's with the Lions now, but he's an explosive athlete. This dude can run routes. Eric Hendricks, I'm looking after you to try to make some stops there. And then actually going back to the passing attack of the Lions, yes, we talked about the tight ends. Kenny Galladay, if he doesn't play, that's a huge blow. Marvin Jones, I feel like he's been very underwhelming. He's capable of doing so much more than he has up to this point. But a guy he just sneaks out of nowhere for at least one or two big plays a game, kind of like Hayden Hurst for the Atlanta Falcons, is Danny Amendola. Somehow, someway, if you're too focused on the tight ends and Marvin Jones and DeAndre Swift, and as long as we can stop those guys, Danny Amendola will extend drives for the Lions and they'll continue to chew up clock. So you have to keep an eye on him as well. I have to imagine, before this season started, I predicted the Vikings would sweep the Lions. It's a lot different this time around because the Lions, as of right now, they're better than the Vikings. But I feel like the Vikings will squeak this one out. I'm going to say it's going to be a shootout of sorts, assuming that Matthew Stafford plays. If he doesn't play, then the Vikings should win this game outright. But assuming Stafford plays, I'm going to say the Vikings win 28-24. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. We do this 3 times a week. Mediocre Best Sports Podcast with Realistic Randy. Check me out on Twitter at realistic_Randy, Facebook at realistic Randy. We'll see you next time.